From the great state of Texas, you are now listening to Skip the Noise Podcast, a Rounded Edge media production. Thank you so much for joining us. And by us, of course, I'm referring to Rick, a.k.a. the Brown Python Ben, a.k.a. Mexican Nostradamus, and yours truly, Benji, here for another fantastic episode. Shout out to Mike Tacklebox for the music.
Zuckerberg pulled it out, laid it on the table, and said Meta Threads, which to date, and so this, I think it opened a couple of days ago, a day or two ago, has over 70 million new signups. Guys, I think it's so bad that Mr. Musk, the big tough fair person he is already threatening to sue. Twitter's threatening to sue Meta because of it.
Why?
Well, he's suing
he's
because
already threatening legal action, stating basically, "Oh,
like
he stole my idea. He stole it," because basically it's through the power of Instagram. So this is. Dude, you could see the true end of Twitter coming very quickly. So
no, Musk is actually suing him because he's hiring a lot of the.
He might sue him too.
Yeah, he might get sued too. Yeah. But no, he's being sued because he hired a lot of engineers that used to work at Twitter. That's why.
Well, right.
And there's an intellectual property, I
get it, but it still sucks, right? Twitter was a dying platform, right? It was already kind of a shit platform. A lot of people kept on it, especially the I would kind of say the millennial, right? The older millennials, maybe some Gen X's kind of stayed on it as like a tough thing, and of course right-wing propagandists. But now it's falling apart because Meta Threads is basically where everyone's going to migrate to. So this is once again market policies dictating the overall value of something, right?
But just wait until people start getting censored on Threads, though. It's brand new. It's shiny new thing.
Whoa! Your boy.
I mean, just wait till people start getting censored on.
Elon's been censoring people on Twitter like crazy.
He has not been censored.
And
he brought a lot of people back from being censored.
Yeah, and then he kicked a lot of people off because they pissed him off, or they made fun of him, or they took advantage of his stupidity. I mean, just like the blue check mark. I mean, remember that guy basically called himself Eli Lilly and then said all diabetes medicine was free, and then Eli Lilly's stock crashed because of it. I mean, Twitter is just a total shithouse. So it's interesting to see Zuckerberg jump in there because that just another dick waving thing that's been going on between the two is there was a talk that there was going to be a fight between Zuckerberg and Elon, of course. So, after seeing Zuckerberg's jiu-jitsu abilities, this is not going to be an entertaining fight. Like
he's going to have like his face full of white cream, like he did when he was surfing, and he's going to fight like that.
Oh boy, white cream.
Yeah.
Dude, that wouldn't have been what my face. I don't know what kind of jiu-jitsu matches you're doing, brother. But
dude, no, I saw this picture of him.
Face full of white cream.
I saw this picture of him when he's surfing.
Oh, I bet
is it really like jiu-jitsu at that point?
No. He was surfing. He wasn't doing jiu-jitsu.
I think that's wishful thinking to consider that jiu-jitsu. I'm sorry, Rick.
I don't think that's jiu-jitsu at all.
Yeah, I don't really.
Does he even do jiu-jitsu?
I mean, there's a spectrum, right?
But Zuckerberg does. He's competed actually.
Yeah, he does.
He just won a gold in like a local regional tournament, and he won first place. And one thing I think third in another.
You mean he bought first place?
Well, I watched him roll. I mean, the dude's athletic. He probably did. The dude's athletic. I mean, you could tell he's putting in the work. He can roll. I mean, he isn't like a phenom. But he's definitely learning what to do.
Yeah, no credit to him.
It's interesting. Sure. I mean, the dude's like, running around with like a rucksack on and shit. He's trying to become like the super nerd. So, we might be watching Lex Luthor form as we speak.
Oh, yeah, that is kind of what's happening.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. Dude.
I really don't think it's going to happen, dude. Elon is pretty out of shape, man. I mean,
no. Elon, he's too busy impregnating new chicks to continue his shit.
There's nothing wrong with that either. So,
no, well, you can do it to where you don't impregnate also. Perhaps.
Yeah, but he's a billionaire. He doesn't have to worry about that shit, bro. We are peons. We have to worry about, oh, fuck, I got this chick pregnant. But you know what happens?
We're normal human beings who want to
help
peons,
raise our
okay?
Children. We are.
I know. Rick's strictly thinking financial. He's just like,
financially speaking, we are peons. So
I actually want
to have as many as I want. I've got.
When you're a billionaire, you don't have to worry about contraceptives or raising your kids or getting mad that the girl that you fucked last week is you're fucking some other girl. They don't get mad. They're actually happy. They're like, whatever.
Boy.
Yeah,
I got some billionaire's kid.
No, really,
they don't care.
If you think about it, like they're so zeroed in on just like money and shit, they probably do calculate it like that. They're just like, if I get her pregnant, whatever. Like, how much you want? Like, I'll write you a check. This will take care of your fucking grandkids. Have another.
Forever, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just go. Like,
I'll take care of your I'll take care of your whole generations. Like, your generation will be fruitful and multiply because
there you go, man.
Yeah.
I guess. You know what? And these women don't get angry. They don't get angry. Hey, he told me he loved me last week, but they don't care. It's bullshit. I don't know. Yeah. They're gonna get a nice payout. They're gonna be rich for generations after they have their kids. So now we people like you and me and Benji, we have to worry. We have to wear condoms and make sure they're taking birth control and then find the nearest abortion clinic. I mean, we gotta wear condoms. We gotta wear all that.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Y'all wear condoms.
Well, yeah, dude. When you're fucking your girlfriend, yeah, of course.
Oh, boy.
Oh, easy. Yeah,
you wore those. I didn't fucking wear them. Anyways, yeah, no, wear that shit. I'm with Willie Nelson on that one. Half baked reference. So now you see this new meta thread. So everybody, we will probably be starting a meta. We will probably be doing a meta thread for the show at some point, probably doing our own over there.
Yeah,
because
maybe. I
mean, it might be a good place to get a foothold in. So please keep an eye out for us. And who knows what the extra things they'll be doing, because I think it can piggyback off Instagram.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, the thing is too, easy. Like I never really like Twitter, like it has some level of value or whatever, but I just never, I don't know. It just, to me, I just never got situated in it to where I felt like I was benefiting from the app whatsoever.
Right.
No,
I feel like it had potential out of, out of all, I mean, for my usage.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Like, yeah. Obviously it had potential.
I mean, it's
massive. Yeah, that's not what I meant. What I meant was like in my usage, I was like, oh, like I could really blah, blah, blah. I just never really got a foothold in it. Like it made sense on paper, but it just in application for what we're trying to do, it just didn't translate, man. And our Twitter shit never did anything.
I think the last 4 or 5 years of Twitter was just the boomers catching up to social media, right?
Maybe.
I mean, just like they took over Facebook, I think they were taking over Twitter, which, to me seems like, I mean, what, two cards of the same hand kind of shit. So, it is what it is. But nonetheless, everyone keep an eye on that space, especially with the developments, any type of new developments in social media or type of media tech. As you will probably see it reverberate into the wonderful stock price of Meta, which will continue to surge with this type of stuff.
But do you really feel comfortable giving Zuck more information? I mean, look what he did with Facebook.
Dude, Instagram has 2 billion.
Yeah, I know.
Followers. So guess what?
And a lot of child porn too.
I hate to break this to everyone. He fucking knows. So did Twitter. Dude, Twitter had actual porn on it.
Yeah, it was clear.
Instagram at least kind of like they don't have porn, but Twitter you can literally see porn.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't like block
real porn. Like you can look up, Hunter Biden movies, and you can find it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it definitely, the morality suit is going to be a difficult game when it comes to talking about, difference between Instagram and Twitter. But moving on, I think we do see a bunch of new trends. Staying with the topic tonight, we do see a bunch of new trends, in particular, ones being handed down by the Supreme Court. Now, I know you guys touched on it and everyone's kind of been seeing this, and we're probably about we're a week post decision, but I think I think after a little bit of time of reflection and some looking into, I think we do see what's happened. And the big thing was, of course, the Supreme Court, of course, ruled against Biden's student loan forgiveness, and also it provided protections, religious protections for people in business services. So basically, a person saying they were a web designer. They don't mind making websites for gay people. They just didn't want to make websites that would announce gay marriage. that was actually their whole precipice, which has later on been found out that there was never a person that actually asked them to do that. So it was all actually a practice in
like a theoretical exercise.
Yes, exactly. So now that this has been handed down, I want to see what y'all think, because I mean everyone can probably guess.
They also did away with affirmative action too.
Yes, and affirmative action, which was massive. So really the big question becomes is, what do you guys think? I mean, what do you think about them all? I mean, I was a little shocked, to be honest, about the student loan thing. I was pretty certain about affirmative action, and I knew the religious freedoms was going to go through. But the way the Supreme Court has been acting, they kind of give one, take two, give one, take two. They seem to try to balance out some of the rulings, but on this, they just went full bore. I was surprised, but at the same time, though, right when this was announced, when Biden said this, and you guys can go back and listen to us when we talked about this, I said it's going to get shut down.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because the Higher Education Act was the way it's supposed to have gone. So we all know. So, ladies and gentlemen, Biden didn't really want to forgive your student loans. Period.
No, of course not.
He he used the weakest
election year promise.
Right. And now guess what he's saying? He's saying now that he wants to use the Higher Education Act. But how long do you think it takes to get the Higher Education Act moved over and everything tweaked up?
Well,
who wants to put a guess for 24 that student loans will be forgiven in 2024 for Biden's reelection?
I'll tell you what.
He won't even be. No, exactly. It's an election strategy.
Yep.
No, look, if you want fast legislation passed through Congress regarding student loans, you have to forgive the student loans from students in Ukraine. All right. You forgive the student loans in Ukraine. That gets passed like in a month, man.
Dude,
both houses of Congress and the president.
Easily. Well, the crazy part is that people keep talking about the $400 billion that that was supposed to be for the student loan thing. I mean, we give that in 20 minutes to Ukraine. Not only that, but we forgave 3 times that in PPP loans.
Yeah,
we forgave those. So we just gave businesses all this money to supposedly keep their payrolls, and every one of them have had massive layoffs.
Well, I mean, businesses keep payrolls, right? I mean, they pay taxes. They have employees that pay taxes. That's the only difference.
They screwed everybody. They screwed everybody with the PPP. But nonetheless, okay, we can digress and run into this for 6 hours. What I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, my take on the whole student loans thing was that Biden presented the weakest possible way to do it. And now in 2024, how much do you want to bet that the number one thing that Biden will be running on is student loan forgiveness through the Higher Education Act, and guaranteeing that there will be 2 Supreme Court justices that will need to be picked next term? Scalia, for sure. That motherfucker's running on nothing. And Clarence Thomas. They're both running on E.
Dude, imagine.
Big time.
Trump goes into office. You get 2 more Amy Coney Barretts in there.
Well, I hate to break it to you. I think Trump, being a populist, might even throw out using the Higher Education Act. Imagine if that just take this. Imagine if Trump goes, well, what happens if he says what I say? You knew what you're doing. You didn't really want to forgive him. You could have used the Higher Education Act. How about this? When I get elected, I'll use the Higher Education Act to forgive student loans. Dude, Biden didn't really try.
Well, I mean, he didn't try.
To me, I think it looks like it's an intentional, political strategy. In other words, you bring it up at first. It's like, oh, if you bring me in, I'm gonna, student loan forgiveness, blah 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 blah.
Right.
Formed in the package of this, weak proposition that knew was going to get shut down. Therefore, setting it up timing wise. But with all this being said, we can make the decision to send fucking billions of dollars in cluster bombs to Ukraine.
Cluster ammunition
in an hour,
which is a moral issue. Like cluster munitions are fucking horrible. They're literally made to tear human beings apart. Right. Like there's their whole points.
And not only that, but the big concern is that a lot of times a lot of them don't detonate.
Yep.
And therefore you have these, similar to like having landmines or IEDs in, you know what I mean? In
like
Afghanistan.
Vietnam, they spent what, 30, 40 years clearing out the fields of Vietnam. And it's still random ones. So yeah, this is definitely, I think to me, this is a big kind of fuck you. And one of the first things he said was, I didn't lead people on. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And of course he did. So for everyone out there who was hoping and expecting he was going to forgive something, he did it. The guy signed the bill that prevents you from discharging student loans in bankruptcy.
Yeah, you just got taken for a dance. Basically.
Well, he is always going to take a dance. And I know most of us tried for a chance, hoping that maybe, but he didn't. So life goes on. But the next huge thing that I think is an interesting concept is the affirmative action part too. Colleges can no longer take race in regards to their admissions, which is a big deal. That's been part of the game plan. That was that was initially introduced as a way to introduce equality into schools, diversification, and to make the landscape of colleges better, so that you're not just promoting the same old. Unfortunately, I think now the Supreme Court has decided the mission has been accomplished, right? And also what happened with Harvard, where there was Asian Americans that were they were being slighted. They were being slighted because of what they could do, and their scores. But the real problem with this whole thing is now we don't really have a way to diversify college admissions, especially in those schools. I mean, they're still going to keep doing what they're doing, right? I think they're still going to have legacy admissions. They're still going to have other shit. Well, they can't. Oh, yeah, right. That's like 95% of the high school I went to.
Well, not only
all
that,
those fucking retards
on both sides, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
But on both sides,
couldn't even spell a sentence in my high school, but they went to Princeton.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Isn't that how you diversify university then? You get some dumbasses and some smart people together.
No, because they're all
that's pretty diverse.
Oh boy.
And that's what I'm saying. Like on both sides of the aisle, every single one of those motherfuckers, that's the story.
Yeah.
Like they got on legacy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Most of them. Like I would venture to say 90%.
They got the full house effect
of the individuals, regardless of Republican or Democrat.
What was that chick's name? Laura. Well,
let's not do
Aunt
that.
Becky. Remember Aunt Becky?
What?
And
Aunt
Full
Becky,
House. Aunt Becky.
Oh, I thought you were about to drop somebody like we do. I was like,
what's her name?
No, I'm talking about Aunt Becky. Remember from Full House?
Yeah,
remember Lori? She did with her
Laughlin.
Lori on Becky and Laughlin. Yeah,
remember that's how they all get into those schools.
Right? Oh, that's right. Yeah, she got in trouble.
Yes,
her and
dude,
somebody else.
Easy, man.
I'm gonna name drop somebody.
Yeah, dude, that's what I thought you were about to do.
You were like, dude, your eyes got all like fucking beady eye. You're like, dude, this guy hasn't recorded in a minute.
Yeah,
he's breaking all the rules.
Yeah, this guy's
naming
rusty.
The sources.
This motherfucker's rusty as hell. Jeez.
He's going all Alex Jones on motherfuckers.
Amateur hour. Yeah, that's all of them are like that. And but so it is interesting, right? Like it's whether or not, I guess the argument comes in, and whether or not you think the push to sort of forcibly integrate education finally is to a point where you don't have to do that if you're looking at from that angle. Now, obviously there's the mindset of like affirmative action just in general is the wrong way to go, because just anytime anything is based on race above whatever,
right?
You know what I mean? I mean, regardless of where you stand, there's an argument there.
I think diversification, but I think, and I've heard it a couple of different ways. I being like, my parents were the product of, well, not really, because they went to an all black college, because that's the only people that let them in back then. Mm-hmm. I didn't get anything from affirmative action because Texas shut it down in the 90s. Mm-hmm. So I think in the end, when it comes to that, I think I think maybe if we utilize socioeconomic markers, maybe that would be a more palatable way to diversify the pool, because like a lot of people said, and one guy I was listening to talking, I didn't necessarily agree with this point, but he said, like, affirmative action also works for, rich African Americans too.
Right.
So, then now you just had rich African Americans who could get into schools easier.
Yeah.
So it definitely was a flawed system. But I do believe. Go ahead.
Is affirmative action relevant in today's, time, like in 2023? It seems to be a relic of the 20th century. I mean, you're talking about something that happened after the civil rights movement, something that happened because of Jim Crow laws. I mean, this is a antiquated form of forced diversity.
Didn't happen to the 60s, brother. After Jim Crow laws, the Jim Crow laws themselves were the reason because of it.
Exactly. Those were the reasons we had affirmative action, because of Jim Crow laws, the civil rights movement. This is old stuff. Okay. It's antiquated. It's not relevant anymore in 2023. We haven't had these issues with the civil rights laws and Jim Crow laws and
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I mean, there's several.
But it's not as prevalent though. It's not as prevalent.
Several states that are trying to cut out the black vote and minority votes by cutting up districts to prevent them from voting. So no, there's still an issue with race. But
black people know how to get IDs. Okay, don't worry about it.
That's representation, right? That's a different game. We're not talking about college admissions and diversifying the.
I know, but affirmative action was a product of that movement. And so it's antiquated. It's old. It's not relevant in 2023 anymore.
Right. Yeah. Well, and you can see like the argument for the value of it is right. Like Rick's saying, when society is in a state like that, where you have clear, specific rules preventing one group from, doing whatever it is, then yes, like laws have to intervene to sort of forcibly influx a little bit of change. So it has to start somewhere. But yeah, I guess that's the argument, is like affirmative action as it's applied in that regard. Is it antiquated, or is it based on being in a different position in society? Do you see what I'm saying? Like the goal, a different strategy with a different goal. So I think it's, regardless, I think it's obviously any kind of process like that, you have to modernize or to continuously sort of adjust as time period move on. Yeah. So I think that's where we're at with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think the concept had a good meaning behind it, and I still think that it's still relevant today. I still don't think we have the proper diversification inside of our system, and we need to.
We do.
I don't think so.
Well,
I don't believe we do. But
and for what all I said, not to just to finish the thought. With all that being said, yes, like I do agree that there should be some sort of system that promotes, diversification. But I think the question is, what does it look like? I think we need to, as a society, rethink how that's applied. That was my, my only sort of.
You got to see what affirmative action has not accomplished. Look at black neighborhoods. They're still not safe.
That wasn't the point of affirmative action.
I know, it was supposed to lift up minorities,
and it did.
And it did to some extent, but not the way it should have, though.
Case in point, affirmative action when employed in the Alabama State Troopers Department, right? As soon as affirmative,
what year?
This is back in this is 2000. So pump your brakes.
Back in 1960.
No, 2000. Look it up. 2000 Alabama State Troopers Association. When they did not have a quota to meet, as soon as the quota was turned off, they stopped hiring black officers. There is a real issue with certain parts of this country that, yes, there is straight up discrimination.
Well, leave it up to the legislatures to figure that out.
Well, the problem is those same legislatures are also doing things to prevent, like we just said, representation by people to help change those rules. So there is still a systemic problem we have in this country with racism and with discrimination. Well, but affirmative action, I don't know if that was a key.
Yeah. Well, here's the here's the bottom line is that there has to be a legal way to prevent like somebody from saying, you know what, just going to hire white males only. And that's my right to do so because I own the business. You know what I mean? Like there has to be a way.
It doesn't make sense for business. Diversification actually
it doesn't,
improves business, right?
For sure. But what I'm saying is like, even if that existed, like you have to have some sort of legal barrier in between. Does that make sense? Like
I get it, right? No, I'm with you. Like something to tell people like, hey man, you cannot hire just blonde hair, blue-eyed males to your company.
Well, you also can't say I'm going to exclude Asians. You can't say I'm not gonna accept any Asians. I don't care what their qualifications are or what the merits are. I'm not gonna bring them to my school.
Look, I can't say that either. Hey, we all here have like I'm part Chinese. I am. My mom was half. So in the end, we all have our lines, right? We all have what we are. But when it came to what was happening with Harvard, in particular with the Asian thing, there was a serious breach because yes, Asians didn't fit the stereotype of minorities in that sense, and their scores were kind of pushing out other people. But who were they really pushing out? It wasn't the minorities they were letting in; it was the legacy admissions. And that's where a lot of the lawsuit is brought up against. Because the legacy admissions were still getting in.
Yeah.
And so were the other minorities, because Harvard wasn't going to cut out that.
Well, that's Harvard bread and butter, isn't it?
Right. Well, beyond that, it's also just, it's the bread and butter. It's a game plan. So there wasn't really diversification going on anyways. So either way, affirmative action, you can no longer use that. So if you're banking on the some family lines or stuff like that to get you into a school, you're shit out of luck. So study a little harder, and also, you know what, community college, try something else. Get your grades up. Do what you got to do.
Get a vocation.
That's it. Yeah, or get a vacation. Well, whatever you want to do. But the truth is that part of the game is over. And we will go back to the typical cronyism that we're all used to anyways. Moving on.
Hey,
and definitely,
you know who's also doing family lines at the White House?
Oh boy, that was a good one. That's how we do it. And we don't know allegedly. Can we say allegedly so we don't get sued by
what?
Allegedly.
Everybody knows it was Hunter. Come on.
Allegedly. Just a little bit of cocaine. A little bit of cocaine.
In the West Wing.
A little bit.
The story keeps changing though.
Just a little bit.
First they say they found it in the public area in the West Wing. Then they say they found it in the private library.
Pretty sure.
Then they say they found it. Yeah. Now I think MSNBC is trying to blame Kamala Harris for the cocaine.
And it was. And I'm going to agree I'm agreeing with MSNBC on that one.
It was.
I'm agreeing with it.
And then you got some assholes on Twitter saying that they were framed by some tourists. Some tourists left it in there to frame.
That's what I'm pretty sure that happened also. I think it was Kamala Harris acting like a tourist, and she left cocaine on the floor. Right. Yeah, I think the real news story is that no one's really talking about it after a day or two. Right. They found cocaine. This isn't marijuana. They found fucking cocaine.
It's a crack house now. The White House is a crack house.
And then no one's talking about it. Everyone stopped talking about it. They talked about it for 15 minutes. Had that been the Trump White House, probably would have been a fucking fiasco. They would have had, guarantee you, they would have had fucking drug sniffing dogs running up and down the fucking White House.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Think about it.
Everyone would have got blood tested. There'd be a counter on CNN, number of days that this has not been solved yet.
Yeah, semen on the ground, semen tested, blood tested, hair follicles. They would have fucking did the full cavity search. But with the Biden thing,
the full body fluid panel, dude.
Right? Like, everyone kind of knows. So I guess that's why no one's gonna look anyways. There's just like, fucking Hunter. I mean, we don't know who did it. Hunter did it. Like everyone, in the back of their minds.
The Secret Service says that they may never find out who left it there, even though there is the most secure building in the world.
And there's cameras,
fucking cameras everywhere.
Corner. Yes.
And they do routine checks. So all they have to do is go from the last check that didn't find anything to this check where they found something and look at the camera from that span and see who dropped the fucking cocaine. That's all
I
they
got a
gotta
funny
do.
feeling that camera will be turned off.
You know what I think happened? I got a theory.
What?
You guys brought up Kamala. I think she was trying to plant it as evidence on somebody, some 17-year-old.
Oh, she is a fucking narc, isn't she?
Yeah. Dude,
Oh, that's right.
Yo, that's what she was doing, bro. She was using it as like a fucking what's it called? She was trying to blackmail somebody.
Bro, you brought cocaine into the White House, dude. That's a 250-year sentence minimum.
Fucking right, dude.
You know?
Oh,
How can they find January 6th rioters from grainy video from someone's cell phone, but they can't find out who brought cocaine into the White House with HD cameras all over the goddamn place?
Yes, this is true,
bro. They would find the January 6th rioters if they would use that AI shit that solves the riddle, like that uses all the audio Wi-Fi and shit and turns it into a visual picture. Like they would have went that hard to get some shit, you know.
It would have been fucking game over. And what happened?
You've heard about that, right? Like Wi-Fi, like, so AI figured out a real quick way in like 10 seconds how to utilize the Wi-Fi signal to literally print out like a digital photo of everybody that was in the room. Based on like how the
waves moved. Yes. I did read about that. Yes, it did read about it because of the disturbances. Yeah, that's some wild shit. But we can't find out who left the cocaine. But we all know.
No, that's what I'm saying.
We all fucking know. Well, I mean, but it's really a game of like, you know, whenever like, everyone knows who did it. It was Hunter. Like, clearly it was him. Allegedly, it was 100% him snorting cocaine off a hooker's ass. Dude, allegedly in the White House.
Let's take a brief moment at least to appreciate, or not appreciate, but sort of like marvel.
No, appreciate
at the audacity and appreciate, dude. Like just sort of the naivete, but balls, like, right? Or the naive bravado to just walk into the White House with the little pooch of coke, dude.
Oh my god!
Do they still call it dime bags?
And then to do
Are they still called dime bags?
I don't fuck with cocaine.
I don't know.
But
are they?
So
I do know one thing. I don't know much, but I know it was Hunter allegedly. So moving on, because while we could beat a dead horse, you can't really beat a dead horse more than DeSantis has been beaten in this wonderful 2024 campaign.
Tell me more about that, because I have not kept up with this shit. What's going on?
So whenever DeSantis first started running, the breakage of point down between Trump, DeSantis, and then the riffraff was basically Trump in the high 40s, DeSantis 31%. Everyone else was just scrounging for pennies. Well, in the last couple of weeks since DeSantis has announced his campaign, he has actually dropped 9 points. Trump has made up a couple of those points, so he is now officially over 50%. And the riffraff, Pence, Chris Christie, Nikki Haley have all actually gained the points he's lost.
Damn.
Which, to be quite honest with you, the one hope he had was New Hampshire, and that's not really looking like it's going to go his way either. So for all the hype and the hubbub, he didn't have anything. He didn't bring anything to the game. So I really think this is one of those guys who's just kind of he's gonna, he had that cresting moment. And
he's weird. He's a weird dude, though.
He's
a weird dude.
He sucks as a politician.
He laughs like Jimmy Fallon for no goddamn reason.
He does, yeah.
He has this high-pitched voice that doesn't inspire strength. I don't know. I don't get it.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Dude, he does not. I'll tell you one thing. He does not inspire any type of strength. Whatsoever. Yeah. Like, he has, like, I don't know, dude. Like,
I mean, he does some good things in Florida, but he does some good things in Florida with the kids and all that, but still, I mean,
what do you mean?
What?
He didn't Florida. He just gave the government more power to control people's kids. Just the other way around.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I did. He basically told the government.
I think he altered the public school system to prevent gay propaganda from being shown to them.
oh, gay propaganda, this or that. If people feel like expressing themselves, that's people expressing themselves. If people wish to try to understand that we live in these progressive world, it is. But the fact is that all that shit he did, basically it cooked his goose. He's fucking sealed. Put a fork in him. Motherfucker's done, dude.
I think his personality brought him down.
Yeah, he's a fucking Debbie Downer for real. He's a pissy Paul. He just seems like real. He reminds me of?
What's that?
And you're gonna fucking probably hate this. Oh. Reminds me of Hillary. Except Hillary was more of a man.
Yeah.
And he does.
That's true.
He does. Think of the way Hillary would talk to people. He talks the same way.
Depends
except
he's
way less masculine than Hillary would talk. He really is, dude. If you think about it, when he signs his bills, he's like, yeah, and like at least Hillary's like, oh, we came, we saw, we killed him. What's DeSantis like? I worked at Guantanamo. I didn't do anything wrong.
No, but you know what rubs people the wrong way with DeSantis is that he's
a pedophile, allegedly.
No, Trump had his backing when he was governor, when he was running for governor, and then he turns around and kind of backstabs him, and that's that's kind of weird.
Well, dude, you could tell he looks like a backstabbing motherfucker. No, he just does not look like a populist or a good candidate at all. No. And even though he's trying to run this culture woke war, all it's going to do is swing Florida to the left. Dude,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think he's out as governor next run, dude.
There's enough Cubans. There's enough Cubans to make sure that doesn't happen.
And there's a lot of gay Cubans, and there's a lot of gay Latinos that are not going to allow this. And there's a lot of people that sympathize with them. Not sympathize, but understand
man, it's turned red.
Huh?
Miami-Dade's turned red, man.
Well, I don't think that's going to last for a long time.
There's a lot of gay people in Miami-Dade.
People are going to get tired of it. And to be quite honest with you, they don't have any construction workers now. They're going to lose one of the biggest tourist attractions to their state, Disney World. They're dude.
No, dude, Disney World did it to themselves, man.
They've been hit by 97 hurricanes. They got buildings collapsing, but this fucker's worried about whether or not someone calls himself a girl or boy. That's his main focus. Yeah. Not the fact that there's a series of buildings in Miami right now that fucking can collapse if someone pisses on one of the fucking.
Well, I mean, talk to the coding people.
Okay.
The building people in Miami-Dade County.
No. This is on the governor of that state who has done nothing to help people. His whole state is fucking filled with toll roads. Does this really sound like a person of the people? Give me a fucking break. He was a faker. I'll give one thing to Trump. Trump tries to be a populist. Why? Because he needs the adoration. He has a physical addiction to being loved.
Yeah. He made a whole social platform for himself.
Exactly.
Which we are on, by the way. If you want to follow us and Skip the Noise on Truth Social.
Nice. You put us on there? Oh boy. There's one person. I guarantee there's a lot of hate for me on that one. But in the end, I think DeSantis is over. So I want to see the fun things that are coming up. We do see a lot of talk about RFK Jr. and Biden and I want to
see RFK run, man. I
want to see him run into a wall at full speed.
What?
He's a fucking moron. He's stupid.
RFK.
He's talking about getting rid of vaccines for everyone.
They should be optional.
No, they should not. Polio, not optional. MMR, not optional either. Tetanus, diploid, those things, not optional.
It's going to be Darwinism at its best, man.
Unfortunately, no. The reality is that vaccine science, while it doesn't work whenever you're trying to sell some bullshit mRNA vaccine, it does work with the vaccines that have been literally pivotal to the growth of the human population of the last 60 to 70 years. The eradication of polio, the eradication of mumps, the eradication of so many things, the prevention of and that dumb fuck is one of those people who rallies against that. I may not like certain things, but I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
But look at the alternative. You got Biden. Biden.
Bro, I get you.
That's the alternative.
I get you. And I'm waiting for Bernie to just kick the door open.
No,
and just
he's too old, man. That's over for Bernie.
Go fuck yourselves and just.
All he's gonna do is cave into the Democrat Party and go back to being whatever.
God, he had a chance. He really had a chance. Man,
Yeah,
we would have such a better world. We'd have universal health care by now. You know what we'd be arguing?
No.
We would not be arguing about we would be arguing about so many more enlightened things because we wouldn't be worried about healthcare and bullshit with the house stuff. Huh? Yeah. Cocaine, the riot out. Actually, we would have a very boring show. It'd be like, oh, I fell and broke my arm and it was free. Fuck. I mean, that's what it would. But yeah, I think I don't like RFK Jr. There's that Mary Williamson lady. I don't know much about her. Yeah. I don't know much about her. But yeah, it just, it looks like it just, like I said, I think like we've already said, it's going to be Trump and Biden. And it's going to be whoever does something. Someone has to do something wild.
Yeah.
I think it's either marijuana legalization across the board, or I think Biden's going to pull the Higher Education Act and say he's going to forgive all student loans on his first day of office if his new second term.
He's going to absolutely have to do something like that because can you imagine Trump ripping into his shit about, he's given billions of dollars to Ukraine and you're sitting here and can't afford a baked potato. It's to take
that's
your
right.
Yep. Bro, that's all he has to do.
Yes,
and he's got ammunition for days on that shit. He can fucking talk about how Joe, because he can't even public speak like fucking at all. He doesn't know where he is. And that's just not even me trying to be funny anymore. Like, bro, there's enough evidence to support.
What's not funny anymore,
that was a good impression.
No, it's a fact. Man. You know how when something big, you say something and it's so real that you can't really laugh at now, it's just a fact. It's like water's wet.
Yeah. Well, that's what I had remember Rick last episode, I had this little thing where I explained to him like how scared I am. It was when like, it really was recently where this thing switched. This is like a more definitive version of what I said last episode.
Right.
Because I just realized how to express it better. It's like, it was the moment when Biden being, I don't even know the word to use, but like his mental state, it like at a certain point, it just like stopped being funny, like instantly in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It started being a little scary then.
And it took longer than one might think, but maybe it's denial, right? But it was like there was this real point in the last like 6 months where like that just flipped in my head, and I was like, oh, I can't even really like laugh at this anymore. This is fucked up. So anyway, that's not comforting, but
no, it's scary. It's fucking scary. But what are we gonna do, right? Are we gonna have Big Orange? Are we gonna have Weekend at Bernie's?
Big Orange.
Honestly,
it's
I think
it's a sad choice that we're even backed into this corner. The fact that our society has even put us in this fucking corner to choose between two complete idolatrous fucking diptards is a whole different fucking game. The fact that we're even here and having to make this decision should show that democracy has failed.
Well, I wouldn't mind Elon for president.
Oh, fuck off. And then he's going to execute everyone that says something about how his hair plugs don't look good.
That's right. He does have hair plugs. You're right.
Yes, he does, sir. And he does not like when people make fun of them at all. At all. But at least he's better than Emmanuel Macron. So to everyone,
Emmanuel Croissant.
France has been on fire, and not because someone left the croissant oven on. It's been on fire because a 17-year-old suspect was shot and killed. I believe it was in Paris, somewhere in
he was an immigrant.
Huh? Yeah, it was in Paris.
He was an immigrant.
Yeah, as an immigrant, 17-year-old black kid was shot and killed, which has caused a massive wave of what you would probably say bedlam. It literally caused massive, like I think 40 people killed, something. It was massive riots, a lot of casualties, property damage, you name it, all happened. But when asked about one of the big reasons why this happened or why people went crazy, what did Mr. DeSantis blame it on? Ladies and gentlemen, Macron. What did he blame it on? Emmanuel Macron.
He went full 90s on this one.
He went full 90s. He went a little Tipper Gore-ish, a little bit of maybe he could have said the rap music like Tipper, but no, you know what he said? He said it was the video games.
Oh,
the video games, ladies and gentlemen.
Which video game do you think he's talking about?
I don't know.
Is there a video game about rioting?
Yes,
I have no idea.
It must be, GTA Rioting Edition. Yeah. So basically, let me see. I would kind of, just so I can directly quote, President Emmanuel Macron has mainly, and this is from the NPR.org, who probably loves him. President Emmanuel Macron has mainly blamed social media for the devastation, but he also claimed that video games have inspired copycat violence and vandalism. It sometimes feels like some of them are experiencing on the streets the video games that have intoxicated them. He added that protesters are using Snapchat and TikTok to organize themselves.
Dude, he's talking about Doom.
Yeah, right?
I guess exactly. So, but
no, hold on. He said
he's also thinks it's the Insane Clown Posse, his influence. He's
right. No shit, right?
And Marilyn Manson.
It was Wolfenstein 3D,
right? So I said, I said like he went a little Tipper Gore-ish on this one, going after NWA and shit. I mean, basically, he blamed video games. Like how fucking passe.
There's this metal band called Wasp. That the lyrics are they
awesome?
Convert you into Satanism. No, that's like from the Parents Against.
That's a hell of a song to convert someone on the spot to Satanism. Well, anyways, he blamed video games, which was fucking amazing. He couldn't blame the fact that, I don't know, his country's going to shit and that there's like there is some extreme issues going on in France. If anybody ever says the United States is fucked up, pay attention to France for about 2 weeks and you'll realize, well, maybe not that bad. But nonetheless, blaming video games, crazy bedlam, wild things. What do you guys think? Is it the video games, Ben? Do you think the video games are doing it?
No, I think obviously this is indicative of some very deep rooted problems in their fucking society.
I mean, they did welcome the Nazis in. So France isn't exactly this. Man. Yeah, there's a lot of issues with France.
No, but really, they have had a lot of racial issues have been a big thing there. They have a very, very large Muslim population and African immigrant. So they just in general.
Well, their nationalism movement is blowing up. I mean, they almost elected that lady who I think really is a fascist. I don't even think she necessarily shies away from it. So they're very on the border. They're on the cusp of, I mean, they're like kind of like, I guess what Greece is right now. Greece has a very high neo-Nazi movement. France does.
What?
Yeah. Greece has a huge neo-Nazi movement.
Italy, big time.
Italy does. Several of these countries, because you got to remember, these countries are on the forefront of the immigration from Africa. And there's definitely some racial tensions brewing in Southern Europe. So it's a big deal. But at the same time, how about you address your inequities and your problems and not fucking blame GTA 5 or who, you know what I'm saying? That's
right. But your GTA 2 on PS2.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, good game. Fuck, that was a good game.
But one thing I wanted to say too about this is like, this is one of those things where the incident itself was just like almost like the excuse, because honestly, like, dude, like as far as video, like definitive, as like a piece of, what am I talking? Like, in other words, just in the last few years in America, oh my God, I can't even think. In the Minneapolis.
This
is ridiculous. George Floyd. Yes. The George Floyd video, that's horrific. You know what I mean? Regardless of
that's
what that was a bad. So, but this one, in other words, like, I'm not taking anything away. Like, obviously, this terrible kid died.
Yeah.
Right. That's not good.
No, that's fucking horrible.
But what I mean is, like, in other words, the reaction it got isn't, I mean, yes, it was a reaction to this incident, but this incident was it just turned the key, right, on the engine. It was more of an excuse for this tension to explode. And I think once it did, or like once you kind of let the water into the boat, it's just like, boom, and ignites. So
no, I get you.
It's been brewing for a while.
Yeah, and there's definitely a lot of problems brewing in France, and there's a lot of problems brewing in Southern Europe. They are having a lot of issues where they're seeing their populations diversify because of immigration from Africa, from Syria, from different places. So I think it's coming to the surface, and I see this a lot where a lot of people try to criticize the United States in this like very hotty-toddy manner, especially from Europe, about our problems. And you're like, hey, you guys just hide it better. There's a lot of problems going on. So I want to see what's going to happen with what happens. But I think blaming video games is about as piss poor of an eye as you can have. Rick, what's your take on the France situation?
Dude, I'm still surprised you said there were Nazis in France, dude. That's crazy.
It's huge. Oh yeah, dude. Because, France itself, massive. They
were taking a lot of Africans and Middle Easterns into the country, not too long ago.
Bro, you do realize that? Okay, so right. No, there's a huge nationalist neo-Nazi movement in France. There always has been.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to break it to you, but women cannot wear hijabs in France.
Well, yeah, because they were afraid about preserving their culture. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're Nazis.
They have They have a fascist movement there that's very substantial. They almost elected that lady who literally, her platform is fascism. She wanted to basically the lady that ran against Emmanuel Macron last time. Yeah, her platform was mainly like to start deporting, getting rid of non-native French, and multiple other things. So they got a big movement going on there, guy. It's not, and also you got to remember, neo-Nazis and just the Nazi movement itself is prevalent in Europe. I mean, Greece, fuck off. They have a massive one. It's not just, how everyone tries to say just Ukraine. Really? Yes. Fascism is in Italy. It's in everywhere, bro. Hell, Spain has a fascist movement that was massive. That was huge. I mean, what's his name? Fucking Franco, what? Several of these fucking guys lasted forever. Dude, it's not a clear-cut picture. It never has been.
Well, look. I would never live in these countries anyway. I'd go visit them. I wasn't a big fan of Paris either. Paris was like, ugh. You stay there for one day, man, and that's it. It's very dirty. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Anywhere outside of the Eiffel Tower area, you're gonna be mugged probably. I just was not feel comfortable in Paris.
Yeah.
So, if it burns, they might disinfect it a little bit, I guess. But that's how that goes. But no, I'm not going to do that. I had no idea. But yeah, he went full 90s on this one. He should have just blamed Marilyn Manson and Eminem also while he's at it.
That would have been awesome. He's like, it's the crazy music.
And then St. Clown Posse.
Yeah. Dude. Judas Priest taking even
the fucking Juggalos. It was fucking Iron Maiden. It was fucking, what's it called? Ride the Tiger. Dio. It was all them demonizing the population and causing the destruction. But moving on. I think we'll probably start getting this one, start wrapping it up.
It was Elvis moving his hips around.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was what's his name? Robert Paulson grabbing a guitar and starting to play in that weird way. Man, Macron's starting to sound hardcore boomer right now. I mean, I don't even know what to fucking say about that. It was just great. I love it. Let's blame everything but what's happening. It's the best smokescreen that any political movement has, is let's blame everything other than ourselves so we don't look bad. It's once again just political tomfoolery and poppycock. So moving on, just I guess as we start closing out tonight, we did have some local political things pop up. In particular, there are some new laws passed to help the one of the most, I think, probably one of the most underappreciated populations in the country, teachers. They will be getting the Texas legislature.
I thought you were going to say pharmacists.
No. we are definitely hated, and probably rightfully so. But nonetheless, teachers will actually be getting a $2,000 bonus if they are in I think a district that has more than 20,000 or 20,000 or more, and then a $6,000 bonus if they're in a smaller district, which will be paid out during the year. They will also be getting, and this maybe someone out there is better with the tax understanding, but from what I gather, whatever your property value is minus $100,000, you get a basic leeway, a homestead, an actual homestead exemption on your property taxes, which will reduce the overall value that you're taxed on. So basically, if you have a $250,000 home, which is not existent anymore due to inflation,
oh boy,
you would only owe $150,000 in taxes on it.
Yeah, dude, talk about getting the value out of your fucking home.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Fucking shit. We can spend all fucking that on that shit. But nonetheless, it's at least a help for the nation's for probably the most underappreciated people in the nation, teachers. So at least Abbott and
are they underappreciated, or are they kind of like lazy a little bit? You know, like they're there for a babysitting job.
You know, if it wasn't for a teacher, you wouldn't be here, Bubba. You wouldn't be able to read.
I'm naturally gifted, so I'm not sure exactly what you're talking
about. You just came right out of the womb.
Yeah, I just came out quoting
Nietzsche and shit.
Yeah, I knew what the secrets of life were already, you know, that kind of thing.
Oh boy. Well, I guess that's because, you know, with your special ability, that part came out probably 3 or 4 days before you did. So yeah, there's that long trail. The doctor's like, I don't know. I've never seen anything like this, and we haven't since. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, at least we have something for the 6 of us to grip onto as we're.
I know it became a game of tug of war to get you out of there. They had it wrapped around the building. That's what anchored you when you were pulled thus from the womb.
Wrapped it around his wrist 2-3 times to get a better grip, like a jump rope. Or something.
No, you like how you ever seen those guys when they grip something and they like do that badass movement to like wrap it around their forearms. That's what they were doing to your piece to get you out of there, buddy.
Nice.
Or, you know, when you roll up an extension cord, like with your elbow,
like a telephone cord. Like I remember the old cord of telephones. Oh my god, imagine the doctor's face is like, this is all dick, man. Wow.
Wowie.
He's birthing a dick.
Wowzer.
Oh my god, is this a snake coming out of this lady? What species is this? I mean,
we almost kept it classy, guys. We almost kept it classy.
You know, the best part was your incubator, right? Your incubator, and the one next to you was just all your cock. Like they just had they had to give it its own ecosystem to make sure it stayed okay.
We hadn't done one of those in a while. Talked
Which
about
part?
We just hadn't, you know, jumped in. Yeah, with the power of the Python. We hadn't really.
No. Dude, that should be a novel. The Power of the Python.
Power of the Python.
It sounds like some fucking self-help book by some fucking dude lifting weights in his garage. That's what he's listening to. Power of the Python. This is how I'm gonna get laid and find chicks. That's our first t-shirt. Power of the Python. Get laid. Oh boy. All right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap this one up. Where can they find us, B?
They can find us on Instagram at skip_the_noise_podcast.
And Rick,
they can find us on apparently Truth Social. I don't know, Rick probably doesn't either. Do you know the handle for that?
Oh, hold on.
We lost this.
No, yeah.
Can't hear you.
Yes, I'm skip the noise.
There we go.
There we go.
What was it again?
Skip the Noise podcast on Truth Social.
Nice.
Okay. So check us out there.
Nice. And then hopefully we'll be joining all the new cool hipsters and funky people on Meta threads. You'll check it. We'll figure something out.
We'll figure that out.
We'll be on the groovy links.
Nice.
Yeah, man. We're hip. We're cool. We totes. We got this.
Yeah. I mean, I know how to dance on Macarena, so that makes me hip already.
Fresh AF.
Oh, that was a good one, man.
Dude, that is badass. Can't mess with Macarena, man. That was a fuck. That's like a
that makes me
remember when they played it 38 times a day though? Remember, see, that's one thing. That's the one thing. Terrestrial radio has changed substantially. When we were younger growing up, remember how they would play the same? Fuck.
That and La Vida Loca, man. Fuck, dude. I hated that song. I still hate that song.
Bro, what about Bobby McFerrin's Don't Worry, Be Happy? I remember my family took a vacation where we drove across the country. Every hour on the hour, we heard that fucking song. It got to the point that my father just turned the radio off. He goes, I can't fuck. Of course I'm gonna fucking worry because I gotta worry about you being happy, you dumb fuck.
Or another one like that, Boyz II Men, End of the Road.
Yeah.
Remember how much they played that shit?
But it did, but dude.
I mean, it's a good song.
When that song hit though, and if you were with a girl,
I'm not arguing the merits of the song. I'm just saying they played it.
They played the fuck out of it. They did, but it worked, especially when they played it late at night. Because
the
end of the road,
Quiet Storm.
Yeah.
Quiet Storm.
Yes, the fucking Quiet Storm. Anyways, all right. Well, we'll let y'all get back to your lives and your quiet storms. Hopefully you'll be enjoying that. If you guys have any ideas for us you want to talk about, we're going to be trying to get back, like I said, back on a regular cadence. The Three Musketeers fucking around again. Any ideas what you want to hear, things that you're confused about, if you really want to know how big Rick's python is, these are all questions that we're willing to answer. So just hit us up.
Right. Yeah, you just have to ask. All you have to do is ask.
Yep. Or if you want to send guesses, like how big is the brown python's cock? We're accepting them. Can it see its shadow twice?
It can't. Sorry, I ruined it.
Oops. Well, that's good. You'll have to pick another question then.
Oh boy. All righty. Well, you guys have a good night and keep it real. Represent.
Peace.